This conversation was recorded on August 20th, 2025. Some references reflect the context at the time of filming.
Why are we okay with living like this and acting like this? No, let's have an open conversation. Why can't we hope and want the best for ourselves as a people?
Who says we don't?
Right?
Oh, because no. I don't think that there's something wrong with us as a people.
Why is it working in different quartiers but the main city of Haiti is destruction?
So if all that is true, then why aren't we doing anything?
As Haiti is entering another chapter of its rich history, we as a people are also defining what it means to be Haitian.
You know, these are conversations we've had in our homes with friends, family, and even in small circles.
So we brought it into the open, different backgrounds, different Haitians, one table.
That conversation starts here. The Haitian identity.
One thing I want to go into right away is the identity of a Haitian, right? Who would like to start? Like, what was your journey like into, saying I am Haitian, into taking on this banner? What was it like?
I think for me, it was, there was a duality in it. And I say that in the sense that my parents came here. They are probably like the first of their family that came here. And so community was a really big thing, and they were very rooted in that. And so growing up, I actually didn't even learn how to speak English until I went to like daycare. Because it was just like your full on Haitian household, Haitian food, like music, everything was Haitian. And I remember growing up, when I learned how to speak English, I would go home and be sassy and talk in English. And my mom would always shut that down. And she's like, when I speak to you in Creole, you respond to me in Creole. And so with my little attitude, it's like, why? Like, I speak English and da-da-da-da. And she's like, you're Haitian. And she was just like, but most importantly, like, your family's Haitian. Your grandmothers are Haitian. And so when they come here, you're going to be expected to communicate with them. And so I was like, okay, not really sure what that meant. I grew up and went to predominantly white schools. So I would align more with like the Black experience and being a Black person. And I would say that it wasn't until high school, when I went to a school that had a lot more Haitians, I was able to see the difference. And then in college, doing your research, learning about your culture, recognizing like the mix of what my family is and who I am. So I used to identify as like Haitian American. I now identify as Haitian, who was born in America. And when I learn about the struggles of Haitians in America, I feel more proud to say that I am a Haitian who lives in America. And I'm a little upset about this whole dual citizenship thing going on in Haiti, but...
See, now you bring something that I was trying not to. Well, I'm going to come back to you.
Yeah, because I just find it really interesting because I had a very different experience growing up. So my parents came here in the 80s, and they were really big about me not being Haitian. So I don't know Creole. They never wanted me to really learn it. So I still can't speak it. I can understand it, but I can't even speak back to you in Creole. They were like, you respond in English. They didn't want me to get confused.
So if I say Ushelbe, you understand what I just said, right?
Yes. But for me to respond back, I can't ever. And it was just interesting. So all throughout my career, like all throughout my childhood, it was like, you don't respond in Creole. You are Haitian, but don't be out there proud of it. Don't acknowledge it.
Wow.
You are an American. And I went to Haiti only one time in my whole life. So when I was 2 years old, and ever since then, my parents have said, we're not going to let you go to Haiti because we're too afraid that if you do go, you're too American and that something bad will happen to you. So I've always had this lifestyle where it was like, should I be proud that I'm Haitian? And so all through I grew up, I think it was until I got to college where I took a history class and they said, pick a country where you want to learn more about. And of course I picked Haiti. And that's where I was like, oh, wow, I got to learn more about the history and what happened to Haitians, especially when they came to the United States of America. And so that's where I got to learn more about what does it mean to be Haitian. Yeah.
Wow. That is, I'm like, I'm
No-
over
no-
here. I'm
no
over here.
pressure.
I'm over here like, wow. My experience is totally like, wow. For me, I was born in Haiti. And from the time that I can remember, because I left Haiti at a young age, 6. I left Haiti at 6. And I always knew that family was something that was very important to us, right? Like family, neighborhood, community, everything. Because I used to see my mom. She always used to like take care of the neighbors, even if she didn't have everything. So I used to be like, oh wow, why is she always doing that? I didn't understand it at the time. But as I got older,
Where were you growing up, if I may ask?
what is it?
Like, where did
I
you grow up?
grew up in Tomazo, which is a city outside of Port-au-Prince, like not too far from Port-au-Prince. But it's a countryside, so they looked at us a little bit different because we're from the country. But the funny thing is, people from the country were smart and not dumb because the city people thought they had it all figured out. But then you need our produces and our farming stuff
Hey,
in
I was
order
a
for you to
city boy.
eat, right? No, it was a big thing back then because I didn't understand. Like I remember the first time I think I went to La Ville, to Port-au-Prince. I'm looking at all these people, there's light-skinned people. I never used to see them before. I'm like, oh shoot, there's like different type of people. But in where I'm from, Katiakote, where I'm from, it's different. Like I see people like me, dark skin, darker skin, and the nappy hair, and then when you see people with the, you know, different eye color and
Right.
everything, you're like,
Cheveux
oh
wool.
wow,
Mm.
this is a different side of Haitians, right? But then coming here, it was one of those things. Like I hear you guys talk about. You said your parents did not want you to identify as Haitian, and for you, you wanted to speak English. And for me, I'm this little kid from Tomazo that was like fighting in school because they used to pick on Haitians.
Right.
So I was like always standing up for the Haitians, and I'm yay high, going against crazy like Americans, people that look like me.
Right.
So
Right.
it was very tough navigating the country when we first got here because we didn't know. Because it's like if I got into a fight, my mom used to threaten she's gonna send me back to Haiti. So I'm pretty sure
That
a
was
lot of
always
you
the
guys are
threat.
familiar with that. So it's like it made me become a punk in a way because it's like I know if I get into a fight, if I go back home, I'm either getting my butt whooped or I'm getting sent back to Haiti. But it was discipline. That's the way they know how, because this country is supposed to be the American dream.
Right.
You came here to learn. You came here to do all these great things. So don't fit and don't fall for whatever's going on. But you couldn't avoid it. You couldn't avoid it because it was happening right there. So for me, it's like I'm happy to be Haitian, and I have a big flag on my back for it. I tell people my belly button was cut in Haiti, so it stays there. It's rooted there. You can't take the Haitian out of me. So everywhere I go, people see me.
So thank you all for saying that, and that's the exact purpose of this conversation, because we're all different, but you're not any less Haitian because you wanted to speak English, right? Or that's all you wanted. You're not any less Haitian because you cannot speak English right now. You can't speak
Creole.
Creole rather right now. And
She can
you
speak English very
you
well.
got very well. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I cannot hide that I'm Haitian because of my accent. You know what I mean? So with that said, so that's your journey of this, pretty much discovering the Haitian in you and embracing it and taking the mental, right? The Haitian banner and whatnot. Today, though, Candy, let's start with you. If you were to take the whole Haitian community from Canada, here, France, in Haiti, wherever, it was one community. Physically, mentally, psychologically speaking, where do you see you right now, today? Like, what space do you see yourself occupying? Or how do you see yourself connected to the country or any of the outer community?
Wow, great question. For me, listen, I wish I can say that I can walk in a room and people will know who I am, right? But at the end of the day, you're going to know who I am because of the impact I will live on everyone's lives, right? So if we was to bring all the Haitians from all the parts of the world together, I think the Haitian community would be so much more powerful because when we unite, when we come together, we do great things. It's when we divide ourselves, that's when we start seeing the displacement of, okay, this person's empowered, this person's a little person. But for me, I think we all the same. And I just want to see the best in everyone. So if you put me in a room, I just want to see the best in everyone. So I'll work with everybody just so we can have a better community and a better country. Because our country right now, it needs people that understand that the country was not supposed to go down, or whatever's happening in Haiti right now should not have reached that far. It went too far. And I feel like we as Haitians, I'm going to say we because we can't blame nobody else, we allow it to happen.
So you say it went too far, right? And I'm big on history. Like, so one observation that I made is, if you look at the society of Haiti and what we ourselves today say, the 60s were better. And then the 70s came, not as good as the 60s, but it was better than the 80s. But we who grew up in the 90s, we always hear people say how the 80s were awesome, but the 90s sucked. But you enter 2000, right? In 2000, that's when Aristide came back into the presidency. That's when things started really being shaken up. In 2000, a lot of people fled the country and all that stuff. So that's my generation, right? 90s were great to me. I was dancing King Posse. You know what I'm saying? I was saying
I grew up on that too.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So compared to the 2000s, 90s were great. And then we got in 2010, earthquake, right? All of that stuff. So we wish we could go back to the 2000s before Port-au-Prince got leveled by the earthquake, before we lost 300,000 people. So that's 2010, right? But now in 2020, listen to what you just said, we've gone too far. So it seems like there's this continuous degradation every decade. The last decade was better than the first decade. But if I rewind that back, the 60s was when Haitians fled to start coming here, both people, right? It wasn't that great. But the 70s will tell you, oh, the 60s were awesome, right? In the 80s, we were chasing Jean-Claude Duvalier out. But today, a lot of Haitians are saying, we want to go back to that. In the 70s, Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton had their honeymoon in Haiti, right? So we want to go back to that. But the 70s was when we have Fort Dimanche and people were being political prisoners. That's when the biggest migration out of Haiti until recently happened. So it wasn't all that great, right? So our memory keeps on playing tricks on us as if yesterday was better. However, the degradation continues.
But yesterday was better. So I agree that degradation continues. And so what I'm hearing from Kendi is that the degradation is out of control now. And there needs to be we need to put a pin in it.
Because imagine if this trend continues, now we got to 2030.
Correct.
So this is where we are today.
What will be there in 2030?
But that's what I be saying to people too. Like I'll say to my community and my peers and my fellow peers and friends and family, wouldn't you guys love to go back home?
Oh,
absolutely.
To the so-called 60s, the 70s that were great. We would all love to go back
Even
home.
the 90s.
Like no one was like, I don't think like people pushed us out of our country. Like the country was beat up by its people. So the people had no choice.
Repeat that.
The country was beat up by its people. Your butt. So like I can't continue to point fingers. I can't keep pointing fingers here. But like at what point do we take accountability for what we did not do?
I think accountability is needed. And I think with accountability, you need to name a thing and what the thing is. And so I agree with you in that the people beat the country. I think what is often missing from the conversation, which makes accountability difficult, is we're not taking into account the impact and the effect of colonialism, neocolonialism, and how it's still rampant in Haiti right now. And so, like, for example, dude from Blackwater, are we for real? He just signed a 10-year deal to be in Haiti. If you know him, if you know his history and you see what he's done in other countries, that should be alarming, but it's not alarming. Haiti also just did, I think, a 3-month emergency, basically like a state of emergency. That's what they did. They just put out a state of emergency. A state of emergency, somebody is coming in with military power for 10 years. the government is looking for a gang leader who's making TikToks laughing about it. What's really going on here? And how can we get to accountability when those factors are still at play? And the reality is the impact of colonialism, neo-colonialism, and all that stuff is way more powerful than the actual Haitians who are beating Haiti right now, because they're controlling those Haitians that are beating Haiti.
But why are we so controllable? That's
a great question.
You're about to say something, girl.
No, I was just going to say the same thing. Like, why do we allow it? Because, again, I feel like where you're going with, because I don't want to have excuses, right? And it's like, and not to say United States of America is the best country in the world, right? But I do believe we do have opportunities here and we could take advantage of them and doors can open. The question is, could that happen in Haiti as well?
For some people, it could.
It's so same thing with America, right? Same thing. It's like for some people, the door opens, right? And then some people, it's same cycle of poverty or the same cycle of et cetera, et cetera. So for me, when I look at Haiti, I'm like, just like what you were saying, when are we going to say enough is enough? When are we going to make this change? When is it going to happen?
I think that's a fair question. And I think that the change can happen. I see the future of Haiti being shaped and changed, if it can be changed, by the diaspora, not the people in Haiti right now. I think if you think about like our economic power in Haiti, like we keep that country going. And so I think earlier you had asked Haitians in Canada, Haitians in France, Haitians abroad. I think if Haitians abroad can come with like a unilateral mindset of like, this is what we want for our country, and these are the people that we want to do that, the change will be there. Yeah.
I agree with that because it's sad to see that you would love to have a business in your home country, but
Absolutely.
you can't
Right.
because it's not bringing anything, right? But you'll go to a different country that's next door to you and start a business there.
You said something earlier on this, thought. You said that the people are building the country, right? If you start, let's go back to 1990, right, which was better than 30 years later today. If you start a business in Haiti, right, what is usually the outcome? Without the blanc, without any of that exterior forces.
Competition. If you start a business in Haiti, the outcome, you're going to get competition from your own people in Haiti.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, there's nothing wrong
Competition
with that.
how? They're going to that.
If it's friendly competition, then yes.
Right.
If you start a business in Haiti and if I have a restaurant and then someone else start a restaurant right next to me, they're going to compete. And it's not even friendly competition.
Details, please.
It's like if I'm making bun and pizza, my bun and pizza is better than the restaurant that's next to me, and they know how to make good fried chicken. So someone's coming to me to buy bun and pizza, someone's going to buy fried chicken. But then the fact that I'm making money in bun and pizza, you might look at me like, oh, you don't want me to make this money. You want to make the money yourself. So now you're going to be making bun and pizza and fried chicken at the same time, but your bun and pizza is not good.
Right.
But with a lot of our people, that's exactly what I see. And in Haiti, that's why a lot of businesses don't thrive, because of competition. Because there's people that would love to have business in Haiti, but they're scared. Because it's either gang members are going to come and rob you, or someone's going to do something for you, for your business not to thrive. And that's not okay. That's the thing with our people, our community, always, they don't uplift one another. We need to uplift one another in order for us to go up. Like, there's enough to go around.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I think there is enough to go in the future.
In
there
the
may
future,
be
but
enough to
not
go
now.
around, but right now
Not
it
now,
isn't.
not
And so
now.
that's why the competition gets a little too
It
ugly.
gets, not now.
Because it's literally viewed as though you're taking food out of
From
my
out my
mouth.
mouth.
And so, like, now I gotta
Now I gotta
address
I gotta
that.
address.
And normally, how is it addressed?
Violence.
Right. So
Nothing legal.
right.
It won't be legal, I'll tell you that.
So
Come on.
and that's where I wanted to connect that with what you said earlier. So Haiti doesn't have jobs like that, right? There's very few jobs, and just to put that out there, the 2010 election cycle was about that, the minimum wage, right, and the dual citizenship. That's like those were the two biggest things about the election cycle. So the minimum wage in Haiti is really low. So the country's economics, microeconomics at least, has to be an entrepreneurial one. So if you have a business, your competitor doesn't just, I wish they did what you said. You doing banana pizza, I do fried chicken. You know what? Let me do something in there and get you to step up your game. But no.
That's friendly.
What's gonna happen is the little voodoo person is gonna come next to you, and next thing you mange pizza too, and stuff like that happens, right? So it's that's the part of Haiti that stops it, because if you cannot be an entrepreneur, there are no jobs. Where's the money?
Where's the money coming in from?
Where's the economy of the country?
Yeah, it's
right?
not. There's no. It's not a revolving. There's no cycle.
So then it becomes, it's not even a matter of societal. It becomes something where it's just that community, that area is going to be lacking. That country is going to be lacking, and it starts from the smallest to the biggest. Even the presidents, they act the same way. When they become president, they can't wait to get into power. Not just presidents, like everybody, the presidents, Congress, or whatever. When they get into power, they eat and they starve the opposition, right? So what do you guys think about that? Like to me, that's why the degradation of the decades keep happening. Because if there's no jobs, right, you can't be an entrepreneur, right? And I'm not even talking about the bourgeoisie controlling industries. I'm not even talking about NGOs controlling industries and resources. I'm not talking about, exterior forces coming to play. I'm talking about me and you as neighbors. We grew up together, by the way. You know what I'm saying? So any place like that is going to be desolation, because there's no equity that can be built from that. You're building your property, someone's going to take your blocks.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So how do we fix that? Is that something we need to be honest about for us to even avoid the next decade where we're going to wish we could go back to 2025 that we're crying about today?
So yeah, for sure, I think that should be addressed. I think part of addressing that, though, is like government, right? Because like a reason why if I open a business here in America, Somerville, I live in Somerville, I open a business in Somerville, and if somebody opens one next door to me, we're in competition, and then they burn my business down, I have a recourse. The government comes, there's laws, there's things to protect me. I have insurance. Like there's ways in which the government responds to to let people know that we're not doing this. We're not tolerating this behavior. Mitigation. The mitigation I don't see in Haiti.
See, that's protecting the equities.
But I see the mitigation as your government. Like, what is your government's role? Yeah. Isn't it to protect you? Yeah. Isn't it for there to be infrastructure? Like, isn't it for peace and liberty? Like, I'm using American terms, but I mean, if we go back to the Haitian Constitution, I'm sure we will find very similar language. So if the government isn't doing what it should be doing, then you're leaving the people to act with their own wits and what they know, good or bad.
So I think about, have you guys been to like Dubai or Abu Dhabi? No?
Not yet.
Intentionally, no.
It's on my wish list.
So I love that place.
So Shibana's not gonna go with you. That's guaranteed.
Really? But see, I
just would like to visit it.
So I love there. I would love to live there, and it's relatively new city. It's being built. It's probably been less than 100 years old. And when I go there, you can see so much being built. So many people are coming there. They're buying properties. They're building businesses. The government has such a huge infrastructure, like what you mentioned, where they're like, there's no crime. Like, not even like one dose of crime there, right? Like, if you commit anything, it's like they'll put you in jail automatically. It's like they know their role. They understand the infrastructure. And there's not a sense of competition where you can't have pizza and pizza on the same block. You can have pizza on the same block, and they're okay with that. And this is a new city being built. And so when I was thinking about Haiti, I'm like, how come this place that's relatively being new and being built can have all this together and build upon for their people versus us, we can't. So for me, it goes back to the question, is it us? Is it who we are? Is it our characters? Is it how we think? Is it our values? Do we have that in place? And so that's what I wonder when I think about Haiti as a core. That's what I just bring that up as a question.
I'm gonna let you.
But I know, I'm just thinking.
And I know that could be a little controversial, but I'm just thinking like,
you know, I mean, Abu Dhabi, those people, they're billionaires. And when you think,
but why? Because they unite.
They unite.
They build.
They unite.
They
And there's
grow.
Haitian. I'm pretty sure there's some Haitian millionaires, billionaires. Maybe I don't know them, but if they are, like you said, why are they not coming together to try to do better for the country?
I think those countries also have a lot of implants. So people who aren't from there, who are moving there and helping to build. I also think that it is not our values and it is not us as a people that's a problem. I think there is a fundamental lack of appreciation of what it took for Haiti to gain its independence, what that represents to the world even today, and the element of how racism is at play with that, and how if France can't even give us our money back and they owe us that and they acknowledge they owe us that, the country already started with both of its hands behind its back because you forced them to pay money to be recognized as a country, and no other country at that time period had to do that. And then again, I'm going to continue to reference the imperialism aspect of it. Haiti was also occupied by the U.S. 1915 for like several years. There's you referenced the Clintons earlier. They literally raped the country of its resources. So there are systemic things that have happened and continue to happen in Haiti that is very different than the experiences of other countries. And so they're like low-key apples to oranges. And then it also reflects that there's an inferiority within us as a people, which I vehemently disagree with. I think what it is we're paying the price for our freedom. And Haiti will pay the price for its freedom until, or if, or when the collective diaspora outside of Haiti can come to a place of unity to do the things that are being done in Dubai, because Dubai shows us that it can be done. I also would add that the government is very instrumental in some of those things that are being done, because like you mentioned, like the crime, the only reason you're going to go to jail immediately is because the government doesn't play that. The government doesn't play that role in Haiti. So like if those things aren't in alignment, I think it could reflect the growth and progress that we've seen in other countries. Rwanda is also a good example of a country who started off with a poor history, but once they got alignment, they were able to do amazing things.
So we hope you're enjoying this video. You know, we're doing this because these conversations don't usually happen like this, out in the open for all of us.
If this resonates with you, that matters.
So drop your thoughts in the comments, share it with someone, and if you'd like to be part of future conversations, feel free to reach out to us.
So I'm gonna just push back a little bit, because I think, again, it's the people. I think everything you said, it has to go do with the people. Like when you mentioned having 2 stores and like you do fried plantain face.
Do you do
Let me help you.
because you're getting us hungry.
Right, very hungry.
Right.
And the other person does fried chicken, and you said it's going to be some type of competition. How come that's the first thing that's going to happen? Like, why is already, you talked about voodooism, right? It was like already this negative, this fight, this like, but in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, their first instinct is not like that. They're going to be like, yo, that's my neighbor. That's my people. I want you to win. I want you to win. And I want you to win.
And
But is it like that here in America? Like two like businesses coming up against each other in its competition?
Well, we're not going to put the other business on fire.
Right, because of the
can't.
laws and
Yeah,
infrastructure in place to make sure
there's
that doesn't.
consequences.
I understand that, but I also think, could it be the core, our people? Why do we think it's okay to have voodooism.
So
or
in other words, what you're saying is it's standard practice. That's where we go to.
I think it's the people. I think we need to have a real conversation.
So
and
talk about that a little bit.
I'm not cutting you off. Like I'm agreeing with what you're saying.
Yeah, I just think it's us.
It's us. That's
it's
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's
I think
us
it's
because
us.
I'm afraid you said we know France owes us money, but to be honest with you, I don't think even if France was to give us this money now, we don't have anyone.
We don't have an infrastructure for it.
We don't have infrastructure for that money. Because look what happened during the earthquake. Millions of dollars came into Haiti.
No, with a B.
Whoa, sorry. Billions of dollars came into Haiti.
In the words of Kanye, not little B's.
Not little B's. Big B's. For infrastructure, for all these roads, everything.
But
I went to Haiti during the pandemic. Unfinished roads. Lights don't work.
Who was responsible for implementing that?
But guess what?
Tell me.
The Haitians vote these people into office.
The NGOs.
But that's what I'm saying.
It was the NGOs.
I'm
Haiti doesn't have the power, but the people don't have
Shema, don't forget what you're saying, because that's exactly where I'm gonna go with it, girly. In Dubai, if you want to open a business in Dubai, you cannot just come and say I'm gonna open a business in Dubai. A citizen has to
there's a process.
Right, there's a process.
There's a process.
A citizen of Dubai.
Has to give you access, and they're gonna be your partner, right? While in the 2010 earthquake relief efforts, billions of dollars, there were no citizens who had to be partners. They straight up did what they wanted to do, which is what Shebanya. You tell me.
The NGOs.
So going. I want you to make sure we align that for the people who are listening.
I think my thing is that how come, like, and not to say that we don't take pride in our country, but it's like, why are we okay with gang members or whatever thinking that it's okay to commit these crimes, right? Like other countries, and I'm not saying I don't know all the countries in the world, but I'm just saying, like, if we're comparing it, the people in Dubai are thinking, I'm not going to do that to my country. I'm not going to burn my country. I'm not going to have this in the news where we look like this. How come in Haiti, we're just like, we're okay with this? Why don't we have a conversation about where's your values? You know, I'm a Christian. I know I talk about being a Christian, but when I wake up in the morning, I'm thinking, how can I be a good example of Jesus? Like, how do I carry myself? How do I love? How do I show hope? How do I be faithful? How do I be kind? But I feel like in Haiti, it's like, we're the people who are going to show this. Why are we okay with living like this and acting like this? And we're blaming, oh, well, France took this money from us and that's why we're going to act like this. No, let's have an open conversation. Why can't we hope and want the best for ourselves as a people?
I would say, who says we don't? Right? Because no. Because if we go to Haiti right now, even in spite of everything that is happening and the despair, there are still people who reflect everything that you just said. I was there in 2022. I saw it with my own eyes. So I don't think that there's something wrong with us as a people. I don't think that we lack values at all. But I think when we're having conversations as to why something is bad, you have to acknowledge, you have to see all the things that shaped it to become bad from the beginning, and what interventions were done as we were trying to get good to keep us bad. And is that fair to compare to a country like Abu Dhabi and their history and and how they were created? Like, did they have the same struggles? Or are they former slaves? Were they denied their own rights? Like, did they have the same path, the same story, and the same struggle as Haiti to then compare them? It feels like an unfair comparison. I would love to have this dialogue about possibly like another country, maybe like in Africa.
That's where I was.
The Dominican Republic, just to our neighbor.
So let's go over there then. So is it more apples to apples to you if you take Dior, or Turks and Caicos? Is it more apples to apples?
Yeah, I think those are more apples to apples.
Okay.
And I will be the first to say that I'm like anti-DR. So I feel like I should not even continue to speak on that subject because you can't change my mind on it. It's like in my core. I think when you compare it to those other islands, like Jamaica, for example, has a lot of high crime, but they also have really good tourism. And so it shows you that it can be done.
It can be done.
And so then we can start having the questions about what are they doing now or what have they been doing that isn't working or Haiti hasn't tried. And then who can be the ones to reshape it, which for me, the answer goes back to the diaspora.
Diaspora, yeah.
So, do you agree with that?
I can agree with that to a certain extent.
I don't, okay. So I understand like Jamaica, black country, Haiti, black country, right? I think for me, what I'm trying to like, I'll tell a white counterpart, hey, I'm about to go to Haiti. First thing I'll say, are you sure? Is it safe? Are you going to be okay? If I tell them I'm going to Jamaica, oh, have fun. Right. You're going to have a lot of fun. I just don't know if I can compare the same. And that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, why does Haiti have such this negative? And it's, of course, right? We see it in the news and what's going on. And so I'm just trying to figure out, like, how do we have a real honest conversation? Like Jamaica and Haiti, I don't know if I could compare it. And I don't know the whole history of Jamaica, if I'm gonna be honest, right? I'm just wondering, like, how come every time I bring the conversation up to Haiti, and I talk about I'm a Haitian American, right? I was born here in the United States of America. When I tell people, because I proudly tell people I'm Haitian American, they'll be like, no way, no way. They'll be like, you're too pretty, you're light skinned, you're too nice, right? And you're too smart. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I say it all the time. Like, even with my ice cream shop, I always say I'm a daughter of Haitian immigrants. And they'll be like, really? Yes, I am. Because we can look like this and we can act like this and we can carry ourselves like this. But why is it that it's always a question? And for me, it's like, how do we change those conversations? And that's what I'm saying. Like, what is going on with us as a people that people feel like this or they see this? And so I just want to be real and be like, yo, let's have a real conversation about it and not just say, let's blame the French or all this and all this.
And that's why I said I don't want to do the blaming game, because we have to take accountability for what we've done. Like, it's true. Like, for real, like, let's be honest. Like, Haitians have such a negative, like, I don't know how you want to put it, and it's bad.
It's perception.
I always say one Haitian, if you say one Haitian smell, all of us smell.
Yeah. That's another thing.
And that's one thing that, like I told you, when I came to the country for the first time, it was HBO, Haitian body odor.
Yeah.
It was this.
Haitian booty scratcher.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people used to hide that they were Haitian back then.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm proudly Haitian. You could say I smell, that's fine. But I know I don't. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real. Like, it's just one of those things where, like, if we don't stand together, I tell people this all the time because I work with the Haitian community. Like, guys, we have to be a model of what we want people to see.
Absolutely.
So we can't do, there's certain things that we need to, like, stay away from.
Yeah.
Because they will judge us in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
You know, like being Haitian already.
Right.
Off the, you know, off rip, they're going to just judge you. So you got to move accordingly, because our history, like, yes, we fought hard to be where we are. Of course, we know that. If we could fight and do good things, we've seen it done.
Absolutely.
But why don't we fight to do good things when things actually need to be done?
I agree. And I think when we're talking about having a real conversation, the acknowledgement has to come from only those who are in a position of power can make change. And so we know that the Haitians in Haiti are not in a position of power, but us Haitians in the diaspora, are we not? Like, if we all said, what would happen? What would that do to the country? If we all said, because you still got people doing trips to OCAP left and right now.
Left and right, partying.
So boosting that economy.
Boosting the economy up.
So it's kind of like, so if we, like, so to me, I'm like, okay, so we got some power, we got some leverage, we got some pull.
Why is it working in different quartiers but the main city of Haiti is destruction?
Et nous dit nous c'est haïtiens, nous dit que nous fiers de tête nous, we say Haitian ba bezon kone sa moun di. So if all that is true, then why aren't we doing anything? I think an important conversation was raised earlier, or at another point in time, where like in the 90s, when very few Haitians were even here in America, the protests that happened regarding Haitians being labeled as like one of the groups that carry AIDS. I also remember when the first episode happened with Aristide and all Haitians went and were protesting, even here in Boston, like, yo, nous besoin Aristide. So it's kind of like, we were a smaller group, but we made more noise. So is it really like us? And when I say us, I'm talking about like our generation. That's the issue. That's the problem that we need to be critiquing. Or is it the people who are literally impoverished, can't even go to school? That's the problem that we need to be critiquing. Like who holds the ability to actually make change?
So for context, you're referring to the CDC 1982-1983 saying, Haitians spread AIDS. And the context I want to highlight in this is it wasn't just Haitians spread AIDS, or it wasn't just Haitians were one of the first people to, one of the people to or one of the groups rather to spread AIDS. It was one of four. Among the four were homosexuals, who at the time it wasn't LGBTQ power. Back then, LGBT, the homosexuals rather, where it was a stigma. It wasn't something that was celebrated. It was something that was beat up on. Like they referred them as not just the homosexuals, but those groups, they referred them as degenerates, right? Haitians were part of that, right? And as you mentioned, Shabanya, we were less. At the time, I think we were probably around 250 to 500,000 people total in the U.S. In New York, 150 maybe, right? And we shut down the Brooklyn Bridge. And you mentioned Aristide, when he got the coup d'etat, he was the first popular, democratically elected president of Haiti. And in less than a year, he got into power February 7th, 1991, and he was out September 1991. And the Haitian community in America stood up and were like, no, we're not going to take this. And it still took 3 years. But because of that, to your point, because of that exercise of influence and power and being involved, the Haitians here were able to, one, make the CDC apologize publicly. By 1990, they were like, we apologize, we'll never do this again. And two, Aristide went back in 1994, to complete his terms, right? Now, whether this is good or bad, this is everybody's opinion, right? However, as you said, it happened. But today, 500,000 people from Corona 2020 to today, 500,000 Haitians came to America, to your point earlier, right? So we are greater in number. When the CDC did that, look at the response. Last year, candidate Donald Trump made that statement about Haitians eating cats and dogs. Look at the response then, while we're greater in number. By the way, when and I mentioned earlier, when that happened in the 80s, the Haitians who were here were Haitians who were running from the Duvalier regime. They left everything behind. A lot of them left everything behind. Those were the ones who were being called boat people, right? Those were the ones who had to literally start from scratch with nothing on them, right? And yet they were able to not only have that economic and that political power. Today, you have your master's degree, don't you? You have your bachelor degree, right? You an exec, right? I'm putting your business out there, right? Same for you, right? Same for you, right? So just among four of us here, look at the power, never mind among over 1 million people. And yet, look at the response. Look, compared to the CDC times, the 80s, that response, we were making fun of it. We thought it was funny. So in other words, there's also, I'm going to use that word again, a degradation of our political might, because there's a degradation of our political involvement. So with that said, how can you state that Haitians can impact all the way in Haiti as a diaspora When we were weaker here, we couldn't even respond to a candidate, a powerful candidate, yes, but we couldn't even respond to him properly.
We couldn't, or we chose not to.
That's for you to tell me.
I don't think we couldn't, because I think we chose not to, and I think
That's important.
That is important, but I also think that goes back to like the Haitian experience abroad, because if you're a new person to a country, and let's say like you have the experience that Girly did, where it's just like you don't want to be Haitian, or you're advised not to, that it's going to be used against you, then you're more disconnected from your people. You're more disconnected from your history.
So are we disconnected?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So how do we
even
turn
those
that?
of us who, like me, toujours dit bien branché, ba Haiti tout le temps même branché. Even me, there's a level of disconnect, because I'm having these conversations and I have ideas of what could help Haiti, but I ain't doing nothing. Do I want to? Do I have the desire to do something? Absolutely.
So then how do we bring our collective minds and thoughts and power to try to influence whatever we're trying to do?
Right.
You can go ahead.
Oh, to his
Right.
Yeah. Because like he said, we have powerful people.
So we're gonna wrap up soon. So
Just
Okay.
in Boston alone.
Yeah, and I was an elected official, right? And I felt like I had so much optimism.
excuse me, you're not gonna do this to yourself. I'm not gonna allow it.
Put some respect on your name.
Put some respect on your
Put some
name,
respect on
please.
your name.
Miss Girly Adrian, Girly Adrien, you are the first Haitian American, right, city councilor of the great city of Everett. That's the city that has Encore Casino. That's the city that is nearest to Boston, right down across the river from Charlestown. So no, you're not gonna do that here.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
now you can speak.
Thank you. And at the time, Everett was the second most diverse city in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So it was like, when we talk about immigrants living in a city, this was Everett. And I thought that I had the most power. I thought I was going to have that unity where people would come together, especially Haitians, and where we could do change, right? Because I always say I was the people-powered city council. Like, I live in community. But I got to see front row where it was so much division. I got to see when somebody presented you a check, you would turn away from me. You wouldn't be by my side. And so I don't even know how to answer your question, because I was in that seat, I was in that power, and I saw how hard it was to get my own people to stay united on. I always tell people, I try to pass 52 pieces of legislation. I try to get people to come to City Hall, knock on doors, et cetera, to stand with me. And I got to see that when the other politicians gave them a job, gave them some money, they turned away from me.
It sounds like what happens in Haiti.
Yeah. And so for me, I'm just always divided. And that's why I say I go back to character, right? Because I grew up in Everett. I got to see when the Italians and the Irish, when they wanted to stick together, when they wanted to think.
Even
do
the
it.
Brazilians.
Yeah,
Brazilians
they
too.
do
They
it.
do it.
But it was like with us, it was like somebody could just give you some money and you turn away. So for me, I'm still divided at this, and I'm still hurt, if I'm gonna be honest. I'm so hurt by it. So I don't.
In the purpose, in the idea, because we started this conversation with identity, right? Did you feel like, because there's a big number of Haitian population in Everett, right? Did you feel like the Haitian population embraced you as the first Haitian American city councilor in that city? Did you feel like there was a pride in that? Did you feel like there was a push in that? Did you feel like there was
Did you feel
a
the Haitian
presence, the Haitian presence with you?
I think at the root there was a lot, like especially at the grassroots level, there could have been. I think there were some people, but I think when I was looking at key leadership, when we talked about community leaders or people who I thought would stand behind me, they weren't there. And because
the community leaders.
Yeah, and
Wow.
I think some of them were just afraid to lose money, right? To lose their support, to
Endorsements.
lose, right? And so it's hard. But like I tell people again, they ask me, when are you going to do it again? And I'm like, I couldn't even imagine doing this again, because I don't want to be doing this alone. I think the only way you can do change is if we unite and we get to people together. I don't want to do that as a politician and me just doing it by myself. I don't want to do it.
that's a very profound, impactful experience that you had. Thank you for sharing that with us. As you were talking,
As you conclude.
yes, sorry. As you were talking, one of the things that came to my mind was a panel conversation that I was at about Black Boston several years ago. And at that conversation was a news anchor from one of the Boston stations, and she was sharing how hard it was being one of the only, like everything you just said, she shared a lot of that. And she was like, so what do I do? And so what I said to her, I was like, you don't quit. And it's hard to say that for someone who lived that. So I want to acknowledge how hard that was to say. But then what I said to her, I was like, you don't quit. You go back and you find one of your aces, someone you trust, someone that got you, and you bring them in the fold with you. And then they do the same and they do the same.
So then is that what we all need to do?
Yes.
So it sounds like
because
you
if you
got
look,
your ace right here.
because if you look at news, like local news and who the anchors are, we can't say that the numbers of Black people have not changed for at least the last 5 years in Boston. And she was one of the only. And now look at what it was. And and she's still here, but if she had dipped out, there wouldn't have been. And so heavy is the crown. I'll end on that. Heavy is the crown. We can't do it by ourselves. We need alignment with people who believe in what we believe in. We also need people with the deep pockets who can open doors and help us get our position heard loudly. But most importantly, we just can't quit.
And can I say one thing?
Yes, please.
I love the fact that I'm sitting between these two powerful, strong Haitian women. Like,
imagine how I feel right now.
I mean, it was a pleasure, but I tell people we don't want to lose where we come from, because the moment we do that, we're going to lose our purpose, and we have a purpose here.
So this conversation doesn't end here.
It continues with all of us.
So the question is,
What do we do with it?